Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for an important announcement. One of my longtime law partners, Charlie Gibbons, who's here today, approached me more than a year ago about an idea to have an event here in Pittsburgh honoring the 6 great Hall of Fame quarterbacks from Pittsburgh. And I said, sure, that's a great idea. Never thought it would happen, to be quite honest with you. So I am standing here somewhat amazed that we got to this point, and want to give a lot of credit to a number of people, some of whom you're going to hear from in a minute, about pulling this all together. But the event is called Gridiron Gold, and we have a little poster that shows the logo and a little information about the event here. So, as you can see, and as I'm sure many of you already know, Pittsburgh is known, Western Pennsylvania is probably a better way to put it, is known for being the home of some of the greatest quarterbacks in football history, NFL history, and I can honestly say that I grew up wearing high-top black shoes because Johnny Unitas wore them, and I know that after that a lot of other kids grew up wearing white shoes because of Joe Namath wearing them. So it's exciting to have an event where we're going to be bringing some of the family members and some of the individuals back to honor what is a great Western Pennsylvania tradition. We'll be holding the Gridiron Gold event on June 6, 2015 at the Wyndham Grand Hotel in downtown Pittsburgh. And as far as we know, this is the first time that all 6 of these individuals have been recognized at the same event. So it's been a long time coming, and again, I'm honored to be a small part of it. The beneficiary of the event will be Neighborhood Legal Services Association, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary year. And Neighborhood Legal Services, as the name might imply, provides resources to those who would not have access to the judicial system without some help. And you know, as we stand here on Veterans Day and thank our veterans for their courage and the sacrifices they've made to make our country a better place, certainly one of the rights and responsibilities that we have is to make sure that all of our citizens have access to the courts and access to the judicial system. And so Neighborhood Legal Services is one of those agencies that's there to make sure that those who are less fortunate do have access to the judicial system. So it's a good day to be making this announcement, I think. I do want to thank all the quarterbacks. As I said before, when this idea was first brought to me, I was asked to serve as honorary chair and write letters to the quarterbacks, and I said, sure, I'll write the letters, and figuring I would get no's back quite quickly, but it started from there, and like I say, I'm glad to say that the event is going to proceed. So it's you know, it's going to be the first and maybe the only time something like this will happen. So again, I'm honored to be part of it. And now I'd like to introduce Bob Rakunas, who's the Executive Director of Neighborhood Legal Services, who will share a few more words about the Gridiron Gold event itself. Bob.
Thank you, Art. Your service as Gridiron Gold Chair has been essential in having this event become a reality. I know without your personal invitation to the quarterbacks, this project would probably not have come together. I'm also grateful for having this venue. I couldn't imagine a better venue for this announcement honoring these 6 quarterbacks than the Steeler headquarters. The modern era of pro football is deemed to have started in 1953. In those 61 years, there have only been 23 quarterbacks inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it's pretty remarkable when you think that of those 23, 6 are from Western Pennsylvania. Our NLSA attorneys are dedicated in serving the poor and the vulnerable in our region. This event will help get us more resources so that we can serve more people and provide more access to justice for those in need. This project would not happen without our team. Rich Boyd, who I'll introduce next, is the chair of this event. As chairman, in his part-time job, his full-time job is as Senior Vice President of Global Business Development for Federated Investors. And before I turn it over to Rich, let me just mention a few other of our team members. Most of you probably know Ellis Cannon. Ellis is going to be responsible for developing the broadcast and internet media participation, and he's been with us from day one, helping us to plan this event. We also have Lynn McMahon with us and Sue Cardillo from McMahon & Cardillo. They're going to be doing our communication and public relations. The legal services, of course, are being provided by Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney. No surprise there. Joe Palumbo, Charlie Gibbons, thank you. The NLSA Director of Fund Development, our contact person, is here, Lynn Ramsey. She's going to coordinate the project for NLSA. We have attorney Ephraim Gerl here representing our board of directors. We have all been working very hard. We've been working for more than a year. We expect this event to live up to the high standards of our City of Champions. We're looking forward to working in partnership with so many people, and are just looking forward to a very successful evening next year. With that, Rich Boyd, our event chairman.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Bob, very much. I'd like to begin and thank Art very much for your tremendous support and enthusiasm for this event. As we've worked with the quarterbacks and their staffs in the NFL over the last few months, your credibility really brought the necessary resources necessary to bring this to conclusion and so forth for Neighborhood Legal Services. I'm very pleased that this event is benefiting Neighborhood Legal Services. As you've heard, they've done some outstanding work in the Western Pennsylvania community for over now 50 years, and this event will actually launch the 50th anniversary of the Neighborhood Legal Services organization. In addition to the Gridiron Gold event, we're also working with the quarterbacks and their staffs on trying to put together a number of other wraparound events to our signature event the evening of June the 5th, excuse me. And we certainly encourage you to stay in touch with us through our website, gridirongoldpittsburgh.com, to have updated information on a regular basis with regards to how the event unfolds and the various other things that we'll be doing. As Art mentioned, we believe this is the first time ever that these 6 quarterbacks will be recognized in an event of this nature here in Western Pennsylvania. And given the tremendous enthusiasm for football and passion for football in Western Pennsylvania, the idea of having this group exposed to so many hundreds of thousands of fans that have watched these men play high school, college, and professional football, I think is just going to set the stage for a spectacular day and an event as we pull it all together. As you heard, one of your own, Ellis Cannon, has become a great friend and has been a very integral part of this event and the formation of this event. And I know, Ellis, you and your group at the Pittsburgh Sports Writers are very enthusiastic about this, and I know you have a few comments to share with you. A surprise to me, a gentleman who's become a very close friend of mine over the last few years, excuse me, Andy Russell walked in the room, and Andy has been working with us quietly as well to put together this event as well. So Andy, if you have any thoughts as well, we would certainly appreciate those. But Ellis?
Well, it's odd being on this side, but it's a real honor and distinction, obviously, to be part of this team. I echo, obviously, so many things that were already said, starting with Mr. Rooney and everybody else in conjunction with this outstanding event. The reality is this has actually been a story that's gone on for many years. It was first brought to our attention by the woman in blue over there, Diane Belcom, who approached me in sometime 5 or 6 years ago about the possibility of myself and the Pittsburgh Sports Report working together toward this event. We played with it, worked with it, It got interrupted for a little while, but when we turned around over the last year and start to see these men and these women involved in it, we recognized that the opportunity was here. And while Art was very low-key and perhaps humble in describing his impact, the fact of the matter is, once those letters went out, it changed the landscape dramatically. And ultimately it took one yes. And when the first yes came in, it just kept building and building from there. The fact is that he ignited it, the players accepted it, and now we have an event in a city that is well known for being an event city. And if there's one thing I would say with that respect, because I have the event in mind and I have the beneficiaries in mind, but when you speak about the event, please just recognize that this is a Western Pennsylvania event of Western Pennsylvania people whose story has been told but never quite told like this. We're looking forward to telling it a very special, very dignified way. But I have to say, to put it into perspective, every one of these quarterbacks, every one, would be welcome in the cities in which they played exclusively or primarily in their careers, to have one of them. The possibility of having 6 of them together in one evening qualifies this as a national event happening in Pittsburgh back home. And that is a dramatic and forceful way, to, in my mind, to understand the impact of what we're doing here. The fact is that when we talk about the beneficiaries, and you guys have already spoken about the NLSA, this is an event. It is exciting, but it is a moment. It is a moment to celebrate service. I heard Bob say the word a couple of times. It is a moment to understand that the opportunities that we might have to utilize platforms that we do have to serve others is absolutely critical, and that's what we're doing. So when we take a look and see for NLSA what it means, it does mean an opportunity to continue to help fund them, ultimately support them on a daily basis for things that most of us don't ever see, people that we don't see. And they are out there every single day on the front lines doing that. We're going to help that. We're going to help the social services and their agencies, and of course the clients of them that will benefit from the opportunities that will come from this event. And ultimately, there are the foundations and the charities of the quarterbacks themselves. So if you stop in those terms and you think for a moment that yes, this is a great event as outlined by these men, the reality is we are going to have the opportunity to touch people that none of us in this room may ever meet, never hear from, never see, but we're going to touch them through a vehicle that was created by these men, their backgrounds in Western Pennsylvania. And that's a tremendous honor and distinction. I will say that it's a moment we look forward to. We look forward to working with corporate Pittsburgh, civic leaders, of course the legal community, and others to make this successful. As we forge ahead with our media partnerships, it'll be dynamic, strategic, complementary, and otherwise multi-platform, with the goals of both producing a first-class event and benefiting those who need it the most. That's our objective. Thank you.
Please, Andy. A few words. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I look at that list, and it's an awesome list of players. I hated all those guys. Why? Because they humiliated us. You know, I think one statistic that's pretty interesting is that the Pittsburgh Steelers never lost to Joe Namath. Now, we didn't play them that often, but you know, we were a terrible team, and we're playing them, and we somehow beat them. I remember there's a couple that I didn't play against, but I played against George Bland. I'm old enough to do that, and the Unitas. So they were all. I think this event's going to be one of a kind. I mean, it's just a very, very special event, and I know Diane Balcom, it was your idea. You finally got it put together, and it's terrific. So that's all I had to say.
Anybody have any questions for?
We talk here a lot about the Steelers tradition, you know, where Pittsburgh is about a football town, and then you add this in to a city like this, an event where football is so loved. I mean, what kind of great response are you expecting from just this whole community when they hear about it?
Well, there's no doubt that I think football has been identified as a football town off and on for many years now, and Western Pennsylvania produced really a lot of the great players in the National Football League down through the years. But you know, the unique thing is that so many of the great quarterbacks came from Western Pennsylvania, and as we said before, I think that this really will be a one-of-a-kind event where all 6 of them will be honored and recognized at the same time. And you know, I know that, like I said before, I was always proud of the fact that even though none of them played for the Steelers, that they all came from Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania, and it's just a great part of the history of football that we're looking forward to celebrate.
Art, you had said you guys were kind of surprised first time all of them will be together. Were they surprised as you were reaching out to them that, hey, you know, we have this connection, this unique relationship, but we've never kind of come as one?
You know, I assume over the years that some of them were approached about different events in Pittsburgh, and of course, you know, I know that several of them have been here in Pittsburgh for Dapper Dan events and whatnot down through the years. But again, I am not aware that all of them have been part of the same event before, and unfortunately, you know, some of them are no longer with us, but their families agreed to be part of this. So it'll be, I think, a very unique and a special occasion that I think people in Western Pennsylvania will be excited about.
Anyone else? All right.
Thank you all.
Yeah, they go. And then Kelly, also Kelly Marina, they go the same path. Montana and closer, I'm probably 2 years in front of them. Yeah.